What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the bedtime story. Today's bedtime story is brought to you by The Shark and the Goldfish. This is the book we've been reading by John Gordon. Hold on. Sorry. There we go. This is the book we've been reading by John Gordon. Pretty awesome book so far. A lot of positive things in this. This book is all positivity. So you negative Nancy's may not like it, but I love it. I'm all about that positivity in life. Today we're repping the legacy. That's how I'm feeling today. So legacy it is. Woo! All right. So today is chapter, or I guess not chapter because it's not made in chapters, but I guess part 3, section 3, whatever you want to call it. And it starts off, and the name of this particular one is called Stay Positive. All right, here we go. And remember, I may not be the best reader yet, but this is going to make me better. And this practice makes you better. So let's get after it, shall we? Here we go. After writing notes on the rock, Gordy swam in search of food. He found a morsel here and a morsel there, but nothing of substance. He remembered what Sammy had taught him. He was in control of his thoughts and his actions, and so he kept swimming and hoping that he would find some food soon. But he couldn't help consider that perhaps all the food in the ocean was gone for the day. Maybe all the other fish had taken their share, and now there was nothing left for him. To make matters worse, the other fish laughed at Gordy as he swam past them. "Look at that goldfish trying to be a shark," they jeered. "Good luck trying to find some food. You are way over your head. You'll never make it here. It's too hard. You..." I'm sorry. I'm picturing coworkers and family members and friends and loved ones and all the people who tell you every reason in the world that you can't do something. "You're in way over your head. You'll never make it here. It's too hard. You don't have the skills needed to make it in the ocean. Go back to your fishbowl," they shouted. "Yeah, do it." Gordy felt defeated. Now, this is very interesting. There's going to be times I'm going to pause, but you guys have heard situations where people told you that, good luck finding your food. And that food could be anything, but good luck finding your food, and you're in over your head and you can't never make it here. It's too hard. And then afterwards, when that stuff comes inside of you and you allow that stuff to get inside and rest, what happens is you do exactly what Gordy did, and Gordy felt defeated. He let somebody else defeat him. That's a big deal. So just want to say, maybe they were right. Sure, he could choose to be a shark, embrace change, and take positive actions, but maybe he just wasn't cut out for the business of finding food. Maybe it was beyond him. Maybe dreams and destinies were meant for others, but not like fish like him. Not for fish like him. Maybe his destiny is to be in a fishbowl or to wilt away in the ocean. He cried himself to sleep that night with an empty stomach and a full mind of doubt. Now, what's cool is that before, I don't know if you guys remember the last part of this. Let me read this to you. I need to go back for a second because this is really important. So, at the end of this last chapter, when that positive force of, let's see here, what is his name? I already forgot his name. What is that shark's name? Sorry. That positive, motivating force of Sammy, he said, "Look, let me read this to you and you'll understand what I'm going to get at here." He goes, it's as if the waves of change washed over everything and it washed away. Now you get a fresh start and the opportunity to decide what you really want. You ask the most important question. This leads to life-changing answers, actions, and positive change." I get it, shouted Gordy, who was so excited he swam circles around the shark. "It's all starting to make sense. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to be a victim. I'm ready to go find some food. I'm ready to start fresh." Now, when his mentor, because think about it, this is what this is. This is a mentor situation. He found somebody who knew how to do what he wished he could do, or gave him a different insight that he never thought was possible before, right? So when his mentors, they're giving him this information and feeding him full of information, he understood where to go. But it wasn't until his mentor left and he was on his own devices and he was a little unshaky, but he was still excited, that the other people who are just like him. See, what you guys don't realize is that the other fish were the ones who talked down to him. So his friend Sammy, who was a shark, who was teaching him how to get more for his life, who was his mentor, who was more, shark versus fish, shark wins. When he got back down, his peers, They didn't understand what he was trying to do. They didn't understand what he saw. They didn't understand anything. All they did was saw what they knew was wrong because of what they knew in their minds. They had a set situation going on, and because of that, they decided they already knew the answer, so they decided to mock him. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is because, ladies and gentlemen, how many times have you got something, got some information, and got really excited about it, and then you let somebody else talk you out of your blessing? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, it happens more often than not, more times than you even realize, but you don't even realize it. Be very aware when you go back to the fish who are on the same level as you right now. They will talk you out of all the greatness that's supposed to be yours. And that's where I'll stop because we got some pages to get through. But that's pretty, I can stop right there. Case closed, the end. See you guys, good night. No, but there's a lot more. So, well, here we go. So Gordy felt defeated. Maybe they were right. Sure, he could choose to be a shark, embrace change, and take positive actions, but maybe he just wasn't cut out for the business of finding food. Maybe it was beyond him. Maybe dreams and destinies were meant for others, but not for fish like him. Maybe his destiny was to be in the fishbowl or wilt away in the ocean. He cried himself to sleep that night with an empty stomach and a mind full of doubt. His haters talked him out of action. Keep that in mind too. Just write this stuff down. It's good. Write it down. The next morning, Gordy woke up early and went searching for food. At least he didn't quit. That's good. He still had a glimmer of hope that he would find some, and that Sammy would have some answers. Thankfully, there was more food in the ocean than there had been yesterday. It seemed getting up early made a difference. He had found enough for him to survive, yet it was still way short of what he needed to thrive. Okay? And so Gordy gave up the search for food and swam in search of Sammy and some answers. He found him at the same place where they had met the day before. "I've been waiting for you," Sammy said. "Why is that?" Gordy asked. "Oh, I just wanted to see how your search for food went yesterday." "Not good at all," said Sammy, who then told Gordy, who then told Sammy what the other fish had said to him and how it made him feel defeated. He shared with Sammy that perhaps he wasn't cut out for finding food. Sammy just sat there smiling. "I had a feeling we would be having this conversation. It's a part of the growth process. This is the part where knowing how to think and act must become what you really think and do." Let me read that again because I messed it up and it's really powerful. "I had a feeling we'd be having this conversation again. It's part of the growth process. This is the part where knowing how to think and act must become what you really think and do." Powerful, powerful line. I got to underline that one. Appreciate your patience. Like I said, it's the first time I'm reading this, so it is what it is. As I told you earlier, living in the ocean will test who you are and what you believe. Finding food is more than embracing change and responding to negative events with a positive perspective. It's also about staying positive in the face of those who call staying positive in the face of those I call the chorus of negativity. You guys ever heard people sing a song of negativity to you? No? Okay. Just me then. That's cool. They are naysayers you interact with every day. The doubters who say you can't do it. Writers of the Ocean Gazette and the broadcaster of the constantly negative news channels. Wait a second. Negative news channels? No, that couldn't be possible. There's no such thing as negative media, right? No, we won't worry about that. We'll keep going. Unfortunately, little buddy, there are many in the ocean who want to focus on what they believe is impossible and not what is possible. Let me say that again. Unfortunately, little buddy, there are many in the ocean who want to focus on what they believe is impossible, not possible. Both of those, ladies and gentlemen, have the core piece of belief in them. So, what you focus on is what you get. They want to focus on the negative, not the positive. They're impossibility thinkers. I like that. They are impossibility thinkers who believe the ocean is a place where everything is scarce. They love to focus on stories that highlight how the ocean suffers from lack of food, lack of opportunity, and lack of hope. Then there are those then there are those like the ones you met yesterday who tell you you're not good enough, strong enough, or big enough to find food. They believe that success was meant for others, not for fish like you or them. They believe that success was meant for others, not just fish like you or them. They're telling you what they believe about themselves, not necessarily about what they believe in you. They're imprisoned by their own limited thinking. So what do I do when their negativity makes me feel defeated? Gordy asked. There's so much negativity coming at me from all directions, it seems impossible to overcome it. I know, little buddy. The ocean is a school, and overcoming negativity is the ultimate test. And the answer to the test is the power of belief. Sammy wrote something on the coral here. Your belief must be greater than all the negativity and doubts. Ladies and gentlemen, not just some of it, not just possibly a part of it. It must be better and it must be greater than all of it. Coming from all directions, coming from in your mind, coming from outside of your mind, husbands, daughters, friends, sisters, cousins, brothers, co-workers, friends, people just randomly you meet on the street. It must be greater than all of them. Your belief must be greater. All success starts with belief. After all, if you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe there's enough food in the ocean, you'll never find it. That's a pretty big line too. Let me underline that. You'll never find it. You must believe in your ability to find food, and you must also believe that there's enough food to be found. Then I'm convinced you'll find all the food you want. You pass the test right here in your mind first, and this leads to the success in the ocean. Positive beliefs lead to positive, powerful actions. When you choose to tap into the power of belief, you realize a key lesson. I have found over the years, and Sammy wrote another message in the coral, positive fish find more food. Let me just go ahead and put that up there. Can you see it? Positive fish find more food. That's why it's so important to stay positive, Sammy said. You must stay positive in the absence of negativity and in the face of it. But what do I do when the chorus of negativity and doubt is directly in my face and so loud that I can't think? Gordy asked. Well, then you have a simple choice. You can choose to listen to the cynics and doubters and believe that success is impossible, or you can tune them out, strengthen your belief, and know that with faith and an optimistic attitude, all things are possible. You can listen to all the negative voices, or you can focus on the positive choices. Ooh, I like that. That's really good. I'm going to read that line, that whole thing again. You know I am, because it's good stuff, and you guys need to hear it. And it ain't going to hurt you, I promise. Here we go. So he said, what do you do whenever all the negativity is in your face and it's so loud you can't think? He said, well, you have a simple choice. You can choose to listen to the cynics, doubters, and believe that success is impossible, or you can tune them out, strengthen your belief, and know that with faith and an optimistic attitude, all things are possible. Gordy, who has never realized he had choices before, asked, what choices? I'm glad you asked, said Sammy. Now, you are on your way to becoming a master of finding food. The first choice you have is a choice between faith and fear. That sounds really familiar. That's kind of funny because that's kind of what we're going in now. If you haven't noticed, a lot of the preachers out there right now are teaching and preaching faith over fear. So that's pretty dope. Look at this book, killing the game. Okay, little Gordy, little fishy, get this little fishy on. Okay. All right, so the first choice you have is a choice between faith and fear. He wrote on the coral, choose faith over fear. Do you know what fear and faith have in common? Said Sammy. The letter F, said Gordy. Nice try, said Sammy. What fear and faith have in common is the future that hasn't happened yet. Let me read that again. What fear and faith have in common is a future that hasn't happened yet. Fear believes in a negative future. Faith believes in a positive future. Interestingly enough, both believe in something that hasn't happened yet. That's pretty big. So I ask you, if neither the positive or negative future has happened to you yet, why do you choose to believe in a why not choose to believe in a positive future? That is a great statement. Ask yourself that question right now. I'm going to read it to you again. If neither the positive or the negative future has happened yet, why choose to believe why not choose to believe in a positive future? Why not believe that great things are coming your way? Why not have faith in the future and in your ability to create it? And yet, so many fish choose the negative future. Continues Sammy. They choose fear instead of faith. They choose to believe that their best days are behind them, not in front of them. They choose to believe in the chorus of negativity. They choose to believe the news. They choose to believe, there I go again. As a result, this fear either paralyzes them from taking action to find food or causes them to swim frantically around the ocean, wasting time and scattering their energy. But it's scary, countered Gordy. There's the fear of unknown, the fear of change, fear of failing, fear of not being strong enough or fast enough or good enough, fear of starving, even the fear of fear. There's a lot of fearful out there. Of course it's scary, Sam replied. No one said living in the ocean was easy. That's why, more than ever, choosing faith is so important. Faith helps you overcome the fear that sabotages your joy and success. It helps you to get through the tough times just when you want to get up. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. This little fish is preaching to you now. Come on, shark. Give it to him now. Come on, Pastor Shark. Faith gives you energy and hope and inspiration. It allows you to be less stressed about life's challenges and better equipped for success. Your faith and belief in a positive future leads to powerful actions today because you believe in yourself and in the future. You take actions necessary to create it. This is great. This is some great stuff. If I'm giving too much of my own commentary, type it down in the messages below. I'll read them later, and it'll help me for tomorrow's. Okay. Gordy was so inspired that he grabbed a shark's tooth he found on the ocean's floor and put it in his mouth, and wrote on the coral reef something he wanted to remember. He wrote, "Your faith and belief in a positive future leads to powerful actions today." There we go. That's really cool. You can also choose how you see the ocean, Sammy said. You can see it as a place of abundance or of scarcity. By the way, we will be reading a book on abundance and scarcity. It's called The Sacred Cow, I think. It's amazing. Whatever you believe, you will find. Let me say that again, ladies and gentlemen. If you got a chance, if you go ahead and write that down there in the comments below, or write that somewhere, write it on your arm or something. Whatever you believe, you will find. The mind's a powerful place. By the way, we'll also be reading As a Man Thinketh. Yes, this is going to be going on for a while. Get ready. While others are paralyzed by fear and negative beliefs, you go about your business finding food. While others focus on the stories that demonstrate a lack of food, opportunity, and hope, you stay positive. Believe there is food to be found, continue searching for it, and then create your own positive story. Then he wrote on the coral, when you expect to find food, you do. Ladies and gentlemen, this is I'm going to ask you this quick question. Right now we're going through a situation with that thing. Are you expecting to find food right now? Or are you living a different life? I'm just kind of curious. These are self questions, ladies and gentlemen. Take these for yourself because they can actually change the direction of where you're going. Remember, he just said it. You know, all it takes is that belief that you can go somewhere different, and you will. All right? You need to realize it's a big ocean out there. It's a vast place filled with energy, food, vitality, and life. Sure, you may have to move to a different part of the ocean. You may need to innovate and find a better way of finding food, but the key here is that the ocean is huge and full of resources and opportunity. Why choose to limit the possibilities when history has shown that anything is possible? Anything is possible, ladies and gentlemen. Anything is possible. Why shouldn't you be the one to find the new food location? Why shouldn't you be the one who discovers the new way of finding food? Why shouldn't you be the one who discovers a way to make more food available to more fish? You need to think big and expect that there's enough for everyone, especially you. Expect success and you will find more of it. Really quick, here we go. You need to think big and expect there is enough for everyone, especially you. That is what they call an abundance mindset. The opposite of that is that scarcity mindset. In the scarcity mindset, you don't believe that there's enough for you. So when you find it, you kind of hoard it, keep it to yourself. That's a big deal. You have to have that abundance mindset so you can start finding things that are meant for you, and you'll have enough of those to give to others. Gordy understood everything Sammy was teaching, but the fish who jeered at him yesterday had left him with a nagging negative feeling. If he could shake it, he would, but the negativity lingered. What about those days when you don't find food, he asked. And when your mind fills up with those negative thoughts, self-doubt, and the belief of others? How do I overcome the feeling of defeat I was hit by the naysayers, or was hit with by the naysayers? What do I do when I just want to give up, or just want to get up in the morning and don't want to face another day of failure? Well, my little friend, Sammy said, as he put his fin around Gordy, you accept the fact that everyone gets down. Then you decide to pick yourself up, turn it around. To do that, you do what you did this morning. You find a ray of hope and internal optimism that exists inside you. It was planted in your heart to let you know you are more than your failures and greater than your defeats. When you don't feel like getting out there in the ocean, you tap into this ray of hope. It tells you that today will be better than yesterday and tomorrow will be better than today. You keep swimming forward with faith and optimism instead of starting your morning by turning on the negative news. Consider taking a swim of prayer. Instead of listening to the chorus of negativity, take a swim, close your eyes, smell the seaweed, and discover the real peace and strength you seek. This is the antidote to fear, and it is what you need in order to succeed right now. Man, so good. So I got to fold this page and come back to it. Huge page. It's going to be huge. Then Sammy lifted Gordy with his fin and propped him on his back and raced around the ocean at blistering speeds. Gordy laughed and cheered as he held on for an exhilarating ride. Now he was more prepared and ready to find food. Okay, there's our boys. They wildin'. You see them? Sammy had to take his kids to school, and so Gordy was once again on his own searching for food. Along the way, he wrote a few more notes to himself so he would have positive reminders the next time he faced a course of negativity. Expect success, and you will find it. Okay. On this page, actually, you know what? Not going to do that. Not going to go there. The only one who can limit your possibilities is you. Don't let your past determine your future. Instead of being disappointed about where you are, be optimistic about where you're going. Can you see all those? I feel like I'm reading to the class. There we go. Boom. Gordy, loaded with positive energy and a new attitude, continued his search for food. As he swam around the ocean, he reminded himself that he is not a goldfish anymore. He was not a victim, but an overcomer. He was faithful and fearless. He looked out in the ocean and realized how big it really was. Surely there was enough food for a little belly like mine, he told himself. This new approach and perspective energized him as he swam from place to place in search of food. Most importantly, it helped him to stay positive when he once again swam by those jeering fish who shouted insults at him. "Where you going?" they yelled. "Back to your fishbowl? We thought we had seen the last of you." To make matters worse, they held up signs about the negative condition in the ocean. The sign said, "Supply down 10%. Is this the end? Chance of starving raises from 6% to 10%. What now? Confidence index down 50%. Are we heading for an ocean depression?" So those are the signs that they held up. Let's see if we can get... There you go. Gordy looked for a few seconds at the signs, but then he chose to look away. He remembered what Sammy had said about tuning out the negative voices and focusing on the positive aspect. Let's see, hold on. I got to underline that. That's huge. Even if the food supply is down 10%, it's still very high. And even though the chance of starving rose from 10%, there's still a 90% chance of not starving. Let's see, he said to himself. In that moment, he made a conscious decision to create his own positive story instead of listening to the negative comments of others. Instead of feeling defeated this time, he was empowered with a belief that there was food to be found and he would be the one who found it. By mid-afternoon, his new attitude and perspective helped him find twice as much food as he had found yesterday. He decided he had had enough to survive and made his way to a quiet place where he would relax and take the rest of the afternoon off. As he relaxed and reflected on his day, it occurred to him that while he was proud of his accomplishment, finding enough food to survive, and was thrilled that he was no longer starving, he still wasn't completely satisfied. He was still a little hungry, and he knew he could find even more food if he had the energy. He just didn't want to survive. If the ocean was a place of abundance, then he wanted to thrive. As he dozed off to sleep, dreaming of finding piles of food, he thought a few questions that he would ask Sammy the next day. And we'll find out about those questions tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big chapter or section. You got to let the people who outside of you who are hitting you with them negative Nancy talk, let them go. It's okay. They're only showing you what they believe. And your belief doesn't have to be their belief. Your belief is your belief. You're a powerful, strong, independent, abundant, amazing man and or woman and or pet who's watching this. And don't let anybody tell you differently. The thing about negativity, ladies and gentlemen, is the only way it can be accepted is it must be ingested. Like these guys that had these signs here. He looked at the signs for a second, and then he swam on with his own thoughts. He decided not to take these in and get caught up in all the negativity of other people, other fish, other news stations, all that good stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, we always have a choice, and we can always find more. And as long as we're looking for the abundance and stop being in the scarcity column, because believe it or not, scarcity starts with scare. And that's a big deal, because in abundance, you can't be scared. There's so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this world is an amazing place, and it's full of opportunities everywhere. Trust me, I found a couple of them, and now I'm set on mine. I'm really excited. If you need a place, I've got people who have opportunities for you. I have opportunities for you. But you must find in this world right now the way to find and the way to free yourself from this talk. Maybe it's the talk you're giving yourself. Maybe it's who you're talking to. Maybe it's your coworkers or friends, family members, everything I keep talking about. Find a way to get over it. Faith over fear creates a positive future. Okay? That's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you for coming and reading with me. The Shark and the Goldfish by John Gordon. We're getting close to the end, but we got a lot to do. So I hope you join me again tomorrow, and we'll read again around this 8:30, 9:30 time. And you guys have a blessed day, and I will talk to you soon, okay? Have a great night.